Okay, I have removed my work after I put on about 10 rows of waste yarn and then removed my work, and now I'm doing it's kind of like the Kirchner stitch, but instead of holding it like this to do it, I'm holding it flat. And I've already done this part, and what I did, my yarn started over on this side. So what I did is I went in the stitch, and then I'm going, okay, that's the wrong hole. Wait a minute, that is the wrong hole. Yeah, this is the one I need to go into. So what you're doing is you're pulling it snug but not real tight. You're going in the stitch next door, and then what you need to do is not go. This is the stitch across the street. You don't want that one. You want the one at an angle. So it's this one you just went into. Now there's a little bit of a gap, only that's because where I joined the two yarns. This next stitch should close that up. So I'm going to go in this one, because that's my next door, and then go across the street, which is there, but down one door. Snug it up from both directions. Gonna go in, across next door neighbor, and then go across the street at an angle. Go in the next door neighbor, cross the street at an angle, and snug it up. Go the next door neighbor, cross the street at an angle. Wait a minute. That doesn't look right. It's very easy to take it out when you make a mistake. Just pull it on out. See, it's not this stitch I need. It's this stitch that's kind of hidden. Just take that out. See, that's the one I need to pick up right there. Okay, rethread my needle. Okay, is that only one, two, I think? Yeah, see, that's the one I need right there. Now, I'm not going to do this whole thing. There it is. Now I'm on the right one. I'm not going to do this whole thing on video. Okay, I'm in there. Now I got to go in the neighbors. See, now you can see it. See, this is the one I went in. So I need to go into this hole to recreate the stitch. Now this will be tugged up, and that gap would be closed. Now I need to come in across the street, but into the same, at an angle. Go next door, across the street, but in the same door I just came out of. next door neighbor, across the street, same door I came out of. And just use this same method all the way across. I'll be back when I get to the other end. This is just, it's still the Kirchner stitch. It's just the way I'm holding the material is the difference. Across the street at an angle, next door neighbor. Across the street at an angle, next door neighbor. Across the street at an angle, next door neighbor. Across the street at an angle, next door neighbor. Across the street at an angle. So each loop is going to get the needle's attention twice. Across the street, next door neighbor, and at an angle. And just work your way through the balance. And I'll be back so you can see how it's connecting together. Okay, here we are at the center of my Afghan. What I need to do is tighten this all up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one stitch from each end and stitch around. Now these are the stitches that were on one needle. I'm just picking them all up together. And then I will just pull it tight. And I'm going to go back in the other direction. Picking up one needle. See, this right. This is that stitch that dropped, remember? I have not yet fixed it yet, which we'll do that in a minute. Now you may have to go up and under, kind of hold it, so that you can get into this last stitch. I'm just picking up the last stitch and bringing it back to the beginning and pulling it tight. See? Now I'm not tying that there. I'm going to bring it to the flip side. That has a knot in it from when I wound it, so I just cut the knot off. Thread this up because I want them both on the other side. And then thread it in through the center. Okay. Cut these even. Now I'll just weave these into the work. And then back. And then do the same for the other stitch. You just weave it in. Now I need to fix that other stitch. Now for this I need my latch tool, because I have to relatch now. I'm not going to take that latch out, my stitch holder out, till I get this done. Okay, you might have to come up from underneath. And just restitch these. See, they should have been hooked into this. Okay, and then I'll take a yellow, which at the moment is attached to my work. I think it's on the other side. Yep. Leave a tail long enough to weave it in. And you'll need a little bit to work with. I'm going kind of further down because I'm going to pull this end through. And up through the stitch that's on the tool. I'm going to remove the tool. Okay, and then just come up on the other side and recreate the stitch. Not that much. Now I can take this out. Okay. Now, this thread, like we did a little bit ago, has to come through. Probably the easiest way is use your latch tool. Come up from underneath. I got my finger on the tool. I'm going up under the work. I still got my finger sitting on the tool. And I come up, pull that one through. And finger on the tool again. I do that so it doesn't get caught on the work. And then flip it over. I want to make sure. Okay. And you take your and weave it in. It's easy if you weave it in one direction because you want to anchor it. And then back in the same direction into the same holes. Okay, and then you can trim that off. And do the same with the other half. Now if you have any threads hanging out because you have to change yarn or something, you'll do the same thing to it. Okay, and just weave it in. Now I don't have a whole lot in this direction because I'm at the center, so I'm going to go back this way. And just pick up the thread. Normally that would be all you'd needed, but because it's such a short end there, I'm going back through to anchor it. Okay, now I look for ends. First I'm going to look on this side. Now this is one I wove in earlier, so this, because see I added it a little bit, so I'm going to trim that so the fuzz gets on the other side. That should be about the only spot. Okay, and then I flip it over because I know I got some ends on there. And I do the same thing. I'm looking for ends that need to be tied in. See? And all I do is just weave it in, backtrack a little. Now, down here, I want to make sure I grab that when I do that one. But this side is fine. And I just pick up the back loop that the pearl is. Pull it snug and then backtrack. And snip it. Now, with this end, because that's where I changed colors, actually not from wherever I wound it. Now see, I got a little bit of a hole right there. See? So I will pick it up with this. What I'm just going to do is just take the edge of the loop, might take a couple, there we go. And just weave it in. You can weave it in like this, or you can just do it like this. And do it about an inch or so. Now if you have a little end that's not long enough to come back through, just weave the needle in it without the thread on. When it gets close to the going through the material, thread the needle and then pull. See? Okay, and this blanket is complete. Let's turn back up. It's a little bigger than I planned on, but that's okay. It's got 16 wedges. So if you wanted to do a primary blanket, you could get 8 basic colors, crayon colors, and do 2 wedges in each color. Okay. And there we have it. Thank you for watching. You can find the pattern on my blog.